Welcome one, welcome all to the Gloom Talk podcast. We have a special guest for you today. I'm gonna let him introduce himself. Go ahead.
Wait, what's up, my cue? That was my cue. Hi, I'm Caleb. I'm the tech-obsessed Wayfinder streamer. um, I come from a very long history of MMO RPG games, starting back in Final Fantasy XI, then moving over to World of Warcraft, and eventually over to Final Fantasy XIV. But I'm kind of an old man now and don't really have much time for like super in-depth MMOs. So that's kind of where I transitioned over to Monster Hunter style games like Dauntless and Monster Hunter Worlds, and now over to Wayfinder, which I much prefer this over Dauntless, not gonna lie.
Well, welcome, Caleb. It's been it's a pleasure to have you, firstly, and it's been a work in the progress for a long time. We're definitely very excited to have you on today. How are you going today, firstly?
I'm doing much better now. I have legit taken apart 3 computers today, rebuilt 2 computers today, and probably gotten a couple more gray hairs from trying to get the PAL World server working for everybody today.
Oh, so busy.
Yeah, very busy day. Very busy day.
Fair enough. And how are you going, Drama? Welcome back.
I'm chill, man. I'm chill. Thank you for that. Thanks for bringing me in.
No, anytime, friend of the show. Thank you for kicking it with us today.
I'm having fun, man. I'm glad to be here.
No, very happy. But yeah, I guess like we'll start with you, Caleb. Like you did a little bit of an introduction with yourself about your background. So you've been an avid gamer for a while.
Yeah, I originally started on Twitch back in like 2016, 2017.
Oh, cool, yeah.
And back then I did a lot of Monster Hunter Worlds and Dauntless. I transitioned over to another early access game called Breach.
Okay, no, I haven't heard of that one. What was that?
It was one of those like 4v1 style games where one person played like the dungeon master and everybody else was trying to clear the dungeon.
Oh, okay. And then what would the dungeon master do?
Summon enemies, set traps,
okay.
all kinds of stuff. It was a lot of fun, but they did one tournament on Twitch for that game, and then like 3 days later, it told us they were shutting down the servers for the game. So I took about 3 years off from creating content, like 3 or 4 years off from doing content creation, and just decided last year that I was going for my YouTube partnership.
Yep.
So that was my goal last year, and this year my goal is Twitch partner, if everything goes well.
Oh, well, fair enough. Good luck. We'll definitely make it happen, hopefully. But how did you pick up Wayfinder? Like, I guess after taking a break from content creation, was that like the game when they announced it? That was like the, I guess, step to get back into it, or?
No, for me, I came back to YouTube, and when I came back to YouTube, I was like, okay, well, tried a couple different things that I wanted to try to make content about, and then went, let's just go back to like my roots, go back to Dauntless. I know pretty much everything I needed to know to start making guide videos and stuff on that game. So I came back and making content about that. And there's this conundrum with Dauntless and content creators where content creators tend to get stuck.
Okay, right.
People like Odo and a bunch of other creators over there would get stuck and not be able to transition their content from Dauntless to a game with more potential for growth. And Dauntless doesn't really get you to the levels that most people want to get to on YouTube. It's a good way to grow quickly initially, but to continue, it's not a good continuous growth strategy. So looking at Wayfinder, I saw it had a lot of similarities in art style, similarities in the fact it was cross-play, multi-platform, free-to-play. It was something to me that looked like it would really synergize with the Dauntless community, and the amount of people in the Wayfinder community that came from the Dauntless community is rather large. So I felt like this was a good transitional game for me to get out of the Dauntless bubble and get out into a more diverse content structure.
Yeah, no, that's very fair. And how have you been finding it?
I've been really enjoying it. This game's actually the reason I came back to Twitch, because I had no intentions on coming back to Twitch at all initially.
Yeah, right.
I planned to do everything on YouTube, and a lot of people were asking me to start coming over to Twitch, and this is actually where I met like my core group of friends right now is like the
Mm.
Wayfinder Twitch community has been a really, really good
Yep.
community. It reminds me of the old days of the Dauntless Twitch community.
No, 100%. I think in the last 3-4 months, like I think all the content creators just kind of came together. It's like the community we have is just amazing. Like just like getting on, playing together, or even just supporting each other in like streams and stuff. It's been a laugh. Like I've really enjoyed that, and like that's the thing, like the little motivation that keeps us going and like putting videos out and all that, just to like hang out with you guys.
Yeah, it's like I would like to get back into making more content on YouTube for the game. It's just that
Mhm.
there's such a state right now with the game where there's so much stuff in flux,
Yep.
and it's like I don't like putting hour or 2 hours or 3 hours into editing and recording and everything to put out content if it's not going to be long-term content. Like
Yeah.
most of my income right now on my YouTube channel are Dauntless videos I made
Mm.
over a year ago.
Oh, okay. Wow.
So I
Yeah,
like
yeah.
to make long, like evergreen or semi-evergreen content, not really make content that's going to be flash in the pan. It's just not worth the
Of course.
effort.
Mhm. No, completely makes sense. But most on the Wayfinder style, like what's your approach to it? Are you like a casual who likes to like make content and organize events, and which we'll get into, or are you still like thinking about the competitive side of things?
I would like to honestly see a kind of esports almost environment to the game,
Mm,
almost kind of like something like what we did earlier with my event and Frosty's event. I think there's
yeah, yeah.
potential for that, especially
Mhm.
coming from the Dauntless community with the whole trial system in that game.
Mm,
It's something I've been really adamantly kind of pushing for, having like a time challenge for the bosses or something like that, a leaderboard, maybe a
yeah.
rotating weekly trial type system. I think that would be a good thing for it. It would give
Yep.
people something to shoot for other than
Mhm.
just, oh, why kill this
Mhm.
boss 4 seconds faster?
Yeah, yep,
Doesn't give
yep.
me more loot, so why
Yep.
do it? And I
Yep.
think that that would be something, giving that little bit of competitive without a direct PvP thing, I think is a really good way to make a stronger, a stronger community around the game. Just that little competitive edge never really hurt growth in a community like that.
No, no, of course. I'm hoping, and I think they've been alluding to this as well, like with Mythics and raids coming out. I think that's where the timers and stuff will be coming in. So hopefully that will bridge the gap in the competitiveness that we kind of have in the game at the moment.
Yeah, and I think the Mythics would be a good place to start with that, or maybe
Hmm.
even something with the raid scene when that starts rolling around.
Yeah. Well, what are your initial thoughts about the Mythics and raids? Like, do you think like the Mythics is going to be a successful hit, like or is it going to be another flop?
I think that the initial rollout of the Mythics are probably not going to be what everybody's hoping for, but I
Yeah.
think that with enough tuning and balancing, I think that the Mythics are
Mm.
going to be really good. My
Yep.
my thing with the Mythics is I feel like the Mythics are going to be relatively rushed initially
Yeah.
because we need them to progress into the raid scene. But
Hmm.
I think that the current state with like defensive balancing, stat balancing, and stuff like that, I know there's a stat crunch happening in the
Yeah.
near future. And I think that we're going to go through a lot of balancing changes. So I
Mhm.
think that initially the Mythics are either going to feel ridiculously overtuned or ridiculously
I think
undertuned. I
under.
don't think
Yeah.
that we're going to get
I
the
think it's the
balance right.
latter. No, 100%. Like, I think, like, the raids, like, I have full confidence that that's gonna be rolled out perfectly because, like, just like the from the interaction I've seen in the Discord channel, and the just and their discords, it just seems like there's a clear like roadmap for raids, and like I'm very like confident in their vision. But when it came to Mythics, it just kind of seems to be all over the place. So there's not enough information on how they kind of want to do it and stuff. So I'm a bit skeptical about Mythics. So I'm hoping it's a step in the right direction. Like in terms of content and competitiveness.
Yeah, for me, I want the Mythics to lay you out. Like just straight
Hmm.
put you on your ass.
Yeah.
On repeat. Like if you're not
Mm.
spec'd right, geared right, I
Hmm.
want the Mythics to lay you out.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
want the raids to not be as difficult due to the damage input output. but more difficult due to the mechanics.
Exactly.
And I think that's the direction they're going with those.
Mhm.
But the problem with the Mythics is it's just tuning up the content we already have. So I feel like it's going to be a real fine line between average player getting put down versus player that's kitted and ready to go into it, walking
Yep.
through it too easy.
Yeah. No,
And like,
completely agreed.
and that was like the problem with the game that I came from that put me out off of content creation for a while with Breach was the whole game was balanced around you were queuing up with maybe you and some friends going in as the party against the other player as the dungeon master.
Yeah, okay.
And there was no way to balance the game was the problem because the dungeon master, if he was good, he couldn't beat a good team of players. But if he was decent, he could the players couldn't beat him if they weren't like really well kitted or had a really good fundamental understanding of the game. So there was a really big balancing issue, and I feel like balancing, although this is strictly PvE and not a PvP game, is not nearly as important as that game was. I feel like balancing is definitely going to be like the hardest part to tune for this game due to the fact it's such a casual game for a lot of players, but a lot of players like me and you guys want to see that more competitive, like you want the challenge. And that's what I want. I want the content to be difficult.
Yep. No, completely agreed. It'll definitely be interesting to see how they're going to do it, but yeah, I'm really hoping they get the Mythics right. But as you said, the balancing, I don't even know where to start. And I think, yeah, do you guys drama us in? Do you have any ideas on like how to balance it or anything?
My biggest question so far is how arrays are going to happen. I can't even talk about how to balance it when I can't even tell you how the arrays are going to go.
Yeah. No, that's very fair. Caleb?
I honestly think that the biggest thing for balancing is the echo rework, which I know that's supposed to be coming before the raids, but not before the mythics, which is also one of the places where I run into a difficulty with the tuning on the mythics is because right now everybody's building simpleton because we can. But with the echo rework, we won't be able to do simpleton builds anymore, which is going to push people to more build diversity. It's going to scale damage up and down depending on the class you're building in and stuff like that. And I think that's going to really shake up the balancing and the difficulty curve of the game because you're going to see a lot more defensive stats coming into play. You're going to see more hybrid builds coming into play, which is something I've been very adamantly pushing towards as the hybrid builds because I don't like playing a weapon. I want to play a Wayfinder, but I also want the weapon to do stuff. So I feel like hybrid is the more enjoyable way to play. And I think that with the Echo rework, we'll be moving more towards that direction of balancing both weapon
100%.
and ability power.
To be
And also
honest,
just damage output as well. We're going to be drastically reducing damage output, right? Because we can't have like 12, 13k weapon power, ability power anymore.
Unless you're Sinja.
Unless you're Santa. Oh, man. Well,
to be honest, I can't really see the echo change as a balancing thing. I see it as a change. Like it's actually gonna change the way we do damage. Period. It's not gonna. We're not gonna. Like you said, we're not gonna be able to stack up the same echoes anymore. We're gonna have to use different echoes. And right now, there's only so many echoes you can use to get the same to get similar damage. But Kazuto has done something similar. It's a decrease, but it does change the way he plays Senja. He is still he built her to relatively play the same, but it's a complete different than the way he started with. So I don't know. I see that happening and then changes coming to Echo. Another change to Echoes.
I can. Yeah, no. I really think there'll be fixes and all that with the echoes as soon as the revamp is kind of rolled out and all that. But it's definitely going to be a whole new meta. That's going to be for sure. And I guess it'll be fun and refreshing to kind of figure that out, right? It's almost like playing a new game, no?
Yeah. gonna be a whole new game. It's gonna play
Yeah.
completely different.
No,
Yeah.
exactly.
I'm not gonna be able to stack up resilience the same way that we have right now. We're gonna have to
Yeah.
lean in more into
Oh.
gear sets instead.
That's one thing I would like to see changed. Like, I'm pretty sure everybody in the Wayfinder community can get behind this one, but we need to be able to craft accessories at different levels.
Yeah. I think it's just such a shame that like the lower sets, which have like some really cool ability power or like combinations, just cannot be used. It's just like 70 or 80% of the accessories cannot be used. Maybe even more, to be honest. Because right now everyone's only grinding for like the Beastmaster set, the Greed set, and maybe a couple others. Which is
Dread
just like
Legion. That's
Dread
it.
Legion, yeah.
The Dread
Like-
Legion set's not bad either, yeah.
Yeah. But like in saying that, there's over like 100, 200 accessories, and we're only farming for like 10 of them. I mean, like that's saying something, right?
I mean, honestly, we should only be targeting the epic quality accessories to begin with at this point. But the problem with it is not necessarily that there's not enough accessory sets to go for. It's that one handicap with the crafted accessories, because some of them you can farm all the way up to level 33 right now, but some of them are being gatekept by the damn crafted accessory, and it's aggravating because there's so much potential there that we just can't justify using. Because even if you take off that one piece and do something like Golden Cloak, which is a really good like third piece when you don't have something else, you're still losing that 5%.
Yep, which is a lot.
A whole lot.
Yeah. How about you, Sin?
Well, it's I agree. The crafting change needs to happen. It needs to happen at the same time the echo rework happens, or it's not really going to mean anything. But it's hard for me to even try to really put my mind into making a build or making a build strategy when I don't know how they're going to niche down into different roles. Are they going to stick to the Holy Trinity and go tank, healer, DD, or they going to try some kind of hybrid thing? Until I know that, it's hard for me to actually plan my build out so that I can make a video. So I just been streaming the game.
Yeah, that's basically been the boat I've been in too. Is just not knowing the future right now. I can't really focus on what I normally do, which is build guides for characters, because I've got 7 builds for Venomous right now, just for Venomous, because what might happen.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. No, and then this was like the question we kind of asked last week. Is just like, how are you going about like managing that echo farm, like, or even like building characters? Are you just going, as you said, like just like trying to awaken everyone and taking a slow, I guess slow grind to it, or like are you just not like worrying about it at all, and just kind of building your characters? Or
I'm bouncing around personally between different things I need to farm for different characters. Like Venomous was target number 1. I've got her done. And now I've got a couple bits that I need to farm up for Sinja, which are the 2 characters I want to focus on primarily. And just getting them kitted out relatively well with some options for flexibility once the updates start to drop and stuff. But those are the only 2 characters I'm focused on right now. I don't personally like playing Kairos. Silo is basically Venomous with less pizzazz.
Yeah. Tap, are you hearing this?
I'm not listening at all.
I wish he was here right now. But
I personally play Silo with a crit power build, so it's
Oh, me
basically
too.
just
Actually,
Venomous for me. So it's just
I agree.
Venomous without the heals.
Well, because like when I picked Sally, because he's my first Wayfinder, I was like, I'm gonna do a crit build, and then not knowing it was all broken and stuff, and then I got locked into a crit build, and like I enjoy him for that, but like Ven is just obviously, as you said, she does things a lot better.
Yeah. And then you've got like the new character coming out. I'm going to probably focus on him a lot once Grendel comes out. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like this is like I think everyone was like so hyped for Grendel. Is it like, are we just going to see the whole like Wayfinder like service just filled with Grendels and like no one else?
It's gonna be a giant furry party. That's what it's gonna be.
It really is.
Wayfinder is gonna turn into furry simulator.
Exactly.
Not already there.
Well,
Wait, I thought.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, like I was looking forward to Grendel.
Oh man, no, that's so fair. Well, talking about guides, I do just want to quickly plug in. I'm not sure if you've seen this, Caleb, too, but and his team, and I think they worked with Tom from Ret, so they've made a website for all these new guides that you can find videos in the links below. But yeah, no, I mean, if you guys are struggling like us and just trying to figure out the different type of builds that you kind of need, or if you're missing an accessory or don't know what echoes you want to slot right now, these guys have done a really, really cool job in getting multiple builds, what you want to focus on, what you don't want to focus on, and all those things into a website for whatever Wayfinder. I think it's pretty cool. Don't know if you guys saw that yet, or
I don't think I've seen that yet. I know I pushed out a bunch of video on KepKeps original Echo spreadsheet and stuff back early on.
Oh yeah, the KepKep, those
Yeah.
the infamous, yeah. What do you think about them all? Did you like it, or?
Yeah. I found it really useful. It saved me a lot of time early on.
Yeah, that's how I
100%.
learned.
That's how I built my Salo when I was playing him. He was I genuinely enjoyed his guides, and it was just so easy and streamlined into what to get and what not to get for him. So I definitely enjoyed it. But
I didn't know about that either, but I remember the spreadsheet a while ago.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I just wanted to just kind of plug that in for people who are looking for guides and a bit of help, I guess, into progressing power levels and whatnot. But well, I guess we talked a little bit about this, but what specifically would you guys want changed in Wayfinder? Because I think we're kind of all going through a content drought yet again. So I guess it's just fun to speculate, right? We'll start with Caleb and then go down.
Buff memory fragments. Snarf, if you're hearing this, buff memory fragments.
But Caleb, you get a whole 4,000 memory fragments for finishing your weekly quest. Is that not enough?
No. I have Sinja almost to 3 awakenings. Do you not realize how many memory fragments you burn awakening the muscle mommy? Bruh.
Yeah, no, I understand, but I just looking at the weekly job quest, and I thought it was a slap in the face. I was like, come on.
Okay, so this is gonna be a little bit of a hot take
She did
because I know
100K
how
by herself, man.
What was that about?
She's on 100K, damn near 100K, 30K for one level, 32 or 33 for the second, and then 34, 36
No,
for the
40,
next.
43 for the last one. I'm looking at it. I'm on it.
She's 100K then, 100K. I'm just putting that out there. Not
My
a cheap
gel is
one.
expensive.
And
Demons and Heroes, both of them. The heroic version and the regular version.
It's 300 something unstable Spectre too to go with that.
I don't care about the Spectra. I think Spectra's fine
Spectra's
farming.
fine, yeah.
It's the only reason I did the holiday event was for memory fragments. That was the only reason I did it.
And guess what?
It's gone.
What happened? It's gone.
Yeah, not even more than a weekend.
So personally, I think that the job board thing is perfectly fine. I know a lot of people are not happy with the state of the job board. I think it's fine. I think that the current player base is looking at the job board from the perspective of people that are out of stuff to do, rather than looking at it from the perspective of new players. If you're a new player coming into the game, most of this stuff is stuff you're going to be passively doing just by playing the game. So it's a bonus.
The one thing I would love for them to change is not just buff memory fragments, but give us a way to farm memory fragments, like a reliable way. You can add something to it. And I was hoping that job board was going to be that way. I was hoping I was going to be able to get either imbuements or memory fragments or both from this way reliably. But a weekly is 4,000.
I think the best thing they could do moving forward, going back to the Mythic, is the Mythic is supposed to be for progressing into endgame. So make the mythic bosses drop fat memory fragments. Because that's the point in the game where memory fragments become drought.
Yeah.
Anyways, like until you get to that point, memory fragments are bountiful. You're never going to burn as many of them as you're getting. But once you get to the point where we should be progressing into mythics, which aren't released yet, which is why we're not there. That's when we start hitting this drought with memory fragments. So if those mythic fights dropped, say, 2,000 or 3,000 memory fragments a run, I think that would justify and rectify the current situation where everybody is just memory fragment starved nonstop.
I'm gonna die on that hill. 5,000. I'm dying on this hill. Give me
5,000.
Yes.
I'm with him.
I'm dying on this hill.
Honestly, I agree with Drama on this one because when we stop and think about it, we have 2 more awakenings to do. And I'm already 100K into the Sinja right now, okay? Like, what are the next 2 levels going to cost me?
Exactly.
Exactly. I don't care if it takes me at least 7 minutes, 8 minutes to do the fight. If it gives me 5,000 fragments, worth it. I'll do it.
That's good enough. Yeah.
Way better than doing what I'm doing right now, which is farming knowledge on real.
Yep.
Yes, sir. No, I mean, yeah, I think we all agree. Like, that's definitely something I'm hoping. I think Caleb's idea is very good. Like with the mythics, I think like if you're doing mythics, you're at a stage where you know you need memory fragments to like progress your character, and dropping 5K hopefully will bridge a gap. But
It would make it a lot more manageable.
Well, yeah, exactly. And then obviously with mythics, you have more awakenings to do anyway, so it's not like
Exactly.
So it's a bit of work coming out, but yeah.
Yeah, I think that mythics would definitely be the best place to address that issue without upsetting the current state of balance with the game.
Exactly.
Because I do feel like there isn't a lot of reason to buff memory fragments across the board. But later on at that stage, I think that buffing memory fragments from that point forward is going to be very important. Like bottlenecking people a little bit with crafting new wayfinders because memory fragments are necessary for that early game, I think is fine. I think that people being limited to how many different wayfinders they're working on when they first start the game is a good thing because as somebody that has all the wayfinders unlocked, like awakening becomes kind of overwhelming.
100%. Yeah. It's almost like you can get your level 1 to 30 is kind of like understanding if you like this wayfinder or not, and then awakening, I see it as like it's just really specializing as like this is the wayfinder, this is gonna be your main wayfinder or like whatnot, right? Like it's gonna take a bit of time to get this character to like a competitive or like end state kind of thing.
Yeah, it just came to me. Another thing they could do is they can get a set minimum amount of memory fragments you get per sphere you choose, with it increasing with the difficulty of the sphere.
That's cool. I like that. Like, yeah, like a 5% increase in memory fragments bonus or something like that.
Something like that, yeah. And it
Yeah.
starts off with a base on the first sphere, and then
Yep.
and can gradually gets bigger with the sphere. Yeah, they could do
No,
that.
I like that. Yeah, no, definitely like different ways to incorporate more memory fragment outputs would be really, really nice. Same thing with gold as well. I mean, I know before this, like the gold was like the biggest thing for us. Like there's a gold drought because like everything just costs so much money. And then now we kind of like that problem has kind of now shifted into the memory fragments. So,
Yeah,
like
now that
different
we
like
can vendor stuff, like gold's not a big deal.
it's
But
not a big problem anymore. Yeah, 100%. But there's no way we can sell something or maybe there can be a shop just like sell stuff for memory fragments or whatnot. Like Mythics drop like something
Well,
and then some. Yeah.
I had an idea for that one. You can get
Yeah.
like an exchange NPC, and say they give you a set amount. Oh, if you give me X amount of said resource, and you can convert it into one of these 3 amounts of this
Yeah.
resource type thing.
Well, that's what I was kind of hoping jobs would be like, right? Like, so say you do your weekly or like daily quests, and then you get to like pick like either memory fragments or like a vestige or something, or like whatever you need, or like a gold, like if you're running low. So you have like a choice of like what of a
Ooh.
reward that's kind of important, right? Like that's what I was like kind of hoping jobs would kind of be like, but like if it's like a inconsistent set thing, it's just sometimes a hit and miss. But yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. You can have a set NPC like these
Mhm.
set jobs from this NPC will reward memory fragments. These set jobs will reward this resource, and these set
Okay.
jobs. Yeah, I think
Yeah.
that would work.
Or you just do all of it, and then at the end of the day, like you get like a 3 chests like that you can pick from. One is going to be
Oh,
memory.
yeah.
It's just very
You
easy,
can.
but
This
if you
is
can like
all
choose
right.
the rewards, I think it would be cool for jobs because then it seems worthwhile. Because some weeks I'm gonna do it because I'm like, okay, I need this. Some weeks I'm not because it's
Well,
not worth my time.
what if the jobs reward you with this one resource, but then there's
Mhm.
another vendor who you can exchange X amount of that resource for different things?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, exactly. Just different ways to get a little bit more out, I guess.
So
Yeah.
More reasons. Mm,
here's something that I think might be happening with the Echo change because of us
mm.
moving forward to the Echo book is what if echoes got converted into memory fragments like the duplicates and unnecessary
Oh,
ones, like a
right.
partial conversion into memory fragments, because our biggest memory fragment sink right now is the
Echoes.
memory fragments or the
Mm.
echo, yeah, the memory fragments into the echoes. So
Mhm,
theoretically, the echoes are memory fragments in some way, shape, or form, cost wise. So there's a
mhm,
possibility that we will be getting memory fragments through echo farming, which is something we just passively do anyways. So I
mhm,
think
Yeah.
that besides buffing like the memory fragments specifically in the mythics, I think that making it so that your duplicate excessive echoes would be getting converted into some sort of memory fragment pool to help with one, upgrading the echoes, but
yeah.
also two, upgrading your characters and stuff like that. Because with the whole changeover to the echo book or
Mm,
echo catalog, I think that our memory fragment burn is going to only get worse with that
yep.
change. So I think that addressing that with the catalog is probably the best way to address it to prevent the echo catalog change to
Mhm.
actually make matters even worse than it already is.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No,
Hmm.
completely agree. That's actually a really good point and good foresight as well. I didn't even think about that. How much burn we're gonna get through, but yeah.
Because right
Hope
now we're worried about upgrading the
mm,
echo, limited echoes that we're using now, but theoretically,
mm,
when we're only using one of every echo, and we're probably
yeah.
going to double the amount of echoes currently in the game to pull that off, is
Mhm.
that we're going to be massively just upgrading echoes, like nonstop
Yep.
upgrading
100%.
echoes.
Mhm.
Like it would
Yeah.
be nice to get a refund of the portion of the memory fragments we use from the echoes we're going to lose because we'll get dust, but we're not going to get the memory fragments back.
Mhm.
Because
No, no,
I myself have like 9 rare blood letters all maxed out, so I'm only going to end up with 1 purple one. But where did all those memory fragments go?
well, like I think that's like to Caleb's point, right? Hopefully, like they implement a system where you get more fragments back if you like want to like dust it or like whatnot. Instead of just getting echo dust, you also get memory fragments back or partially refunded or something.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, I mean, we'll just see. Hopefully, there's some news about it as the days go on. But I guess we'll move on to a bit more fun topic. Caleb, this is your first time here, so typically what we do is we ask for a character's tier list. So your Wayfinder tier list, from A to E, depending on the game. I don't know if you're into all that, but like we would like to know. You know,
Sinja.
Senja. Oh, okay. Oh, this is great.
Yeah, we win. We win.
Yep.
Yeah.
Sinja number one. I will
Okay.
die on this hill. I will die on this hill.
No. Look, if we had you like before the rework, we could have had a bit fun. But like, I think like right now, like I can't even challenge you on this. Like, Senja being S, like I'm not even mad at that. Like her rework has been phenomenal. I
Yeah.
think she like yeah, no, 100%. Like I'm not mad. Like I can't get mad at this
I only have
anymore.
one complaint.
Mm.
My ultimate takes too long to build up.
Agreed. Agreed.
Okay.
So I
Yeah.
think honestly, the
Mm.
for the top tier, I would say it's currently Venomous and Sinja.
Yeah. Agreed.
Um, Below that, I would probably place Silo and I'd probably place Silo and Wingrave relatively close together.
Why is that?
Silo
agree, but I just wanted
because of damage output potential. The
Yep.
fact that he's also a survivalist, so he can synergize crit power to be actually fully utilize his kit.
So the question I have with
And
Silo, right, is typically like with Silo players, like especially like more so on the gun side of things, it's always Tempest or maybe Arcstorm. So is it Silo or is it the guns that are carrying him?
I don't play him with guns primarily.
Okay, fair enough, right?
I actually prefer him with daggers.
Really?
Yeah, if they would get the oil bomb to stop bugging out, Silo would
Yeah.
actually probably outpace Venomous on damage with crit power.
But like
But
the
because of the
survivability,
inconsistency with
like his
yeah, he has
survivability
no
is next to none.
survivability.
Yeah, that's my biggest issue with Dagger's Salo. Is like I can probably do the damage and kill a couple mobs, but then like, it's like I can't heal like Ven can, or I can't move, I can't dash or like around like as Ven can efficiently, I think.
So
That's
he
why
synergizes really well if you're playing with like a
Mm.
Wingrave using judgment and stuff like that.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah.
But as far as solo play, that's why I prefer Venomous over him, is because
Oh,
Venomous is a better solo character. Just like
yeah.
Sinja is a really good solo play character because of her massive self sustain now.
Mm.
And then Wingrave, just because flexibility. Like
Yeah.
honestly, he's just a very versatile, flexible character. I think that Sword and Shield in general still is not where it needs to be.
It's
So
Sword
I'd
and
like to
Shield is
see a
good.
buff
Like
to that.
yeah, 100%. I think like that's the only thing like holding Wingrave back is that he doesn't have a decent weapon. Like, because the
Yeah.
system's broken. Like, it's really it's a shame, and also that healing's really not that important yet. Still, hopefully, I mean, that's going to change. I'm assuming when Mythics and Raids come out, but
Yeah.
I
So I
think yeah.
think this is, I guess, is kind of a forward-facing tier list, which is
Mm,
why I'd put him where he is.
mhm.
But as far as like last place goes, it's Kairos for me,
Yeah.
honestly.
Okay.
With the
Always top.
changes,
Wow.
yeah, like Kairos, I
Okay.
don't enjoy his playstyle. I
Yep.
don't see him being that flexible of a character
Mm,
right now. He's
mhm.
just the big nuke guy, and he'll always just kind of be the big nuke guy, glass cannon.
Yep.
So I don't really like the playstyle of him. But with the changes to the AP synergy with Nis,
Mm.
hybrid Nis claps like hard now.
Yeah.
I
Well,
would
I mean,
arguably put her like build her hybrid. I would honestly probably put her up there with Silo.
oh, so you want to put Nis at an A class?
I honestly feel like she's either B plus
Damn.
or
Okay.
A class. Like she's the
Yeah.
with the AP changes and
Yep.
how well she can synergize now, I think she's in a good place. That being
So what's
said though,
changed
I still think the Arcanist class
is
perks
lacking.
need a full rework.
Yeah,
Yeah.
100%.
The balls suck.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Completely agree. So, because like
Not
I
the
only
ball scaler.
Yes, balls suck.
I mean, can't argue with that. Can't argue with that.
Clip that.
Click that.
Clip that. That
Like
one
I
moment.
mean,
TikTok?
The ball suck part.
yes, purple balls suck more than blue balls. There.
That part too.
Oh, I don't know, man. I think I'll be more
So
concerned
Somebody
about blue
clip that.
balls. Yeah.
Straight to your TikTok.
I'd be more concerned about
Straight
purple because that's past blue.
That's true.
exactly. See.
Yeah.
But the whole mechanic behind the orb thing with the
Yeah.
Arcanist, I
Mm.
don't feel like it feels as good as the other
Yeah.
archetype things. So I
Mm.
still think that needs to be reworked, which is why Nis and Kairos are so low for me because they
Yeah.
don't feel fun to play because part of their mechanic is just ignored basically at this point. I
Mhm.
think Nis is in a good place though. I think that
Yeah, I
they
think Nis has definitely moved up a couple of tiers for sure. I see Royal play Nis all the time, and yeah, no, she just seems to be a lot better than like last year. I'm not a Nis player, so I'm not too sure exactly what's changed, but she definitely does feel better.
what they did is they increased the coefficient of how ability power affected her abilities,
Oh, okay, right, yeah, that
which
would that would
meant
you can use her as a weapon power build, even though she's AP base.
So, and that's basically what everybody was doing, was playing her as a weapon power character. Or as a full AP character. But as a full AP character, Kairos used to pull ahead. Now her and Kairos are pretty even on AP, but Nis now has the flexibility to be played as weapon power, AP, or hybrid. And when you play her as a hybrid character, she does great damage with daggers still. Like, not as insane as, say, Venomous, but her dagger damage output is actually really good now. And it gives you the flexibility to put enough points into AP still to have her abilities and her ultimate still feel impactful, which was the problem before. You either had good daggers with her or you had good abilities with her, but using her as a pocket ultimate was not fun. And that's basically where all her damage output came from. Now you can play her as a good sustained damage with daggers and have her ultimate actually feel impactful enough to justify the cost and use of it.
Right. That makes so much more sense. No, I'm glad. And also I think what was I gonna say? No, I missed that point. But I was gonna also tie back to Senja, because I was just thinking, Senja's versatility is definitely what I think is making her S class right now. She, I think, is like what Starla used to be, in the sense that she's so versatile in her support and also her damage right now, especially with like group play becoming more relevant with mythics and raids around the corner. Having a Senja in your team to boost, I guess, the entire team's like damage output is just insane to me. Like they just got it so right, you know.
I don't think that she's where she needs to be, even though I still feel like she's an A plus S tier character right now. I think that there still needs to be some changes made to her. Like, I play her hybrid personally with like about 5,000 of each stat, and fully buffed out, I can hit 12k AP and 12k weapon power. So
wow, okay.
it's the ramp up time on her that maybe raids will change my opinion on this, but I feel like the ramp on her needs to accelerate a little bit more still. And I think that she needs a little bit more coefficient added to the HP to HP regen factor. My biggest complaint with her right now is the fact that ground effects, so anything that's a ground targeted ability, AoE, stuff like that, does not affect her healing buff from the crowd favor, which is the biggest penalty to her, because there's some fights where you just cannot regenerate health on her because of that.
Right. No, that's a very good point. I imagine
Reaper King.
you could do that.
Yeah, Reaver King and
exactly,
Wormwood.
Reaver King, yeah. Reaver King.
Reaver King.
As soon as you said that, that's what I thought of.
Yeah. Reaver King is a ungodly hard fight for her because of that.
Yeah, the twins fight too.
Yeah, twins. Twins.
Yeah.
And Beastmaster can be too, because you basically, to beat Beastmaster effectively with her, you need to eat the shred from Beastmaster, because most of the other stuff won't proc the healing.
Oh, okay. Oh, it's a fine balance.
It's all ground attacks. You're right.
Yeah. No, it's fair. Do you guys have any thoughts on the tier list? Drama Sen or?
Look, I will put Kyros in I forgot her name already. Nis. I will put Kyros. I'll put Kyros and Nis in the same spot, honestly, because I feel like they offer the same thing. They don't.
And is that high or low?
B tier
B
at the most.
Okay.
B. Maybe I could probably give Nis A tier because she has a little bit more. Because I do agree with him on that, but Kyros is consistent good damage. He doesn't offer anything else, but he is consistent good damage, and he can continue to do that good damage as long as the player can do it. But other than that, he can't really add too much. He could later down the line though, because I feel like they're going to add more abilities. But that would be the only change about the tier list. I think Kyros can go a little bit higher.
He's a bit higher. Yeah. Okay. Because that's what I thought. I thought like he was really bad, and then they fixed him a little bit, but he's not great, but he's playable.
Yeah.
I mean, it just
Yeah.
I've seen people do like dumb nuke damage, and they doesn't seem to
Oh,
have an off button.
yeah. Oh,
I
the
just
good old days. Yep.
For me, I think he's a little pigeonholed into using a sword and shield right now, basically.
I mean,
Okay.
everyone I've seen use daggers mainly, but
Yeah,
sword
because
and
I thought
shield
it
he
was
is really good.
yeah. Oh, I haven't like touched Kairos in a while. Why do people gravitate towards a sword and shield?
The quick combo to pump out the balls to pump out the rakes.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Right. So it's
Same
all
thing with
bit.
the daggers.
And
Yeah. Okay.
Pump
Okay.
out
Gotcha.
race
the
on
great
repeat
swords
with
Yeah.
can't do
daggers.
that.
The what?
Can't
Sorry.
really.
The great
The
swords don't really do that.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Of course.
There's
And then I
another
guess an
streamer
added
named
bonus.
Nazaratu. He's really good with Kiros. He was
Mhm.
favoring the scythe. I'm not really sure how he was pulling that off. You gotta ask him. But he was
Yeah.
pulling
Okay.
off the side for a good bit. He switched to
Right.
daggers now. That's what I was told.
Yeah. For sure.
The scythe is kind of the old meta with him where you just dropped fat nukes from the ultimate. That's the only
Yeah.
reason the scythe was ever relevant was buff your AP through the roof for the nuke.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
Mm.
And then I guess like with the bonus with the sword and shield is like you have a bit more durability, right? Because now you can like actually block a few things.
Yeah.
So I'm not too mad at sword and shield build, but yeah, it'll be really interesting to see. And then where would you think? Are you excited for Grendel? Where would you think he is going to fall?
It's
In,
hard
in,
to say. There's so little information on him. I'm
mm,
confused whether he's going to be a brawler, a tank, or a brute. And
mm,
I really would like to see him, as much as I love brawlers, which is why I like
yeah.
Sinja so much. I
Mhm.
would really like to see him be a brute.
I think brute seems to be the vibe or indication it's leaning towards you, right? Like as a breaker brute kind of thing.
I have a question. When you say brute, do you mean berserker? Because that's what I hear a lot. I hear them as a
No,
berserker
so
class.
so like brute would normally be just a massive damage dealer, like just pure offense. Whereas
Mm,
like a brawler is a hybrid, like defensive, can take a hit.
yep.
I kind of want Grendel to be the glass cannon cat with a big axe.
Yeah. I want the exact same thing. Like when you mean damage, do you mean in terms of break power damage or just pure like just damage?
Just raw damage, just raw
Okay.
damage.
Yep.
I think to keep him alive, you'll need to use break power, but
Hmm.
I think having him just be have his
Mm,
abilities instead of his abilities be damage dealing abilities, have his
mm,
abilities affect the amount of damage he does or give
yeah.
him maneuverability or something rather
Mm,
than just going with something like Sinja's damage kit.
yeah.
So
Okay.
something a little bit different than the current War Masters.
Mm. No, agreed.
I was
Um.
hoping he would be something more like a Dark Knight. Like he does damage, but has to balance how much damage he takes against how much damage he deals out.
Oh, that would be a fun mechanic for him.
Mhm.
That would be a fun mechanic for him.
Yep.
I think my biggest concern with him is that they're going to make his abilities offensive abilities instead of like something like sacrificing health for more damage output or something like that.
Mm. Oh, that'd be
And you're
cool.
going to want to feel like you're forced to play him hybridized instead of just
Yeah.
offensively
Yo,
built.
yeah. Offense. Yeah. I mean, we'll just have to see. Hopefully he's not too far off. Be really nice to have another Wayfinder right about now. But
I'll take
um,
anything at this point.
yeah, honestly, yeah, it would be really nice to get something.
More
But
furries.
more fairies, that's what we want. That's what we're here for.
Bring them all in.
I will be
Oh yeah,
right back. One moment.
no
Oh.
worries. We'll take a short break, and Tom can have fun editing all this. Uh, did you guys see any just to prepare for the topic coming up? But I said any changes to the drop rates. This is just like a Reddit thing that's kind of been going on. But I don't know if you guys feel anything or any way about this
Mhm.
with drop rates or. Like,
drop rates.
yeah, in
Well,
terms of like artifacts, messages, like are they too low or anything?
Messages. I'm not too
definitely.
mad at it because I feel like they're gonna give us another way to get it. At least I hope they are.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
if they
yeah.
give us a new way to farm it, I wouldn't mind it being like this,
Mm.
honestly.
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
yeah.
Yeah, because they nerfed the drop rate, right, for messages, right?
Mm.
That's why I thought they buffed it. You said they nerfed it?
Sorry, they buffed it. No, no, my bad. I was meant to say
Okay,
buff.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
They
Yeah,
buffed
they said
pretty
they
much
buffed it.
everything across the board, and I would say the accessories are definitely dropping a lot more. The real
Mm,
issue is the amount of
mm,
stuff that's dropping from these bosses now. There's so
mhm,
much in
mhm,
the loot pool. The RNG is now, am I going to
mm,
get this to drop, or am I going to get the
yeah.
thing that I already got 5 times to drop?
Yeah,
Mm.
You
yeah, yeah.
know, like
Yeah.
Dread Legion is a pain. He's easy to farm. He's easier to fight now. Thankfully, he's easier to fight. But
Yep.
his like as far as his loot pool, you can get anything under the sun. Like trying to get
Yeah, okay, okay.
Kiro's parts is like a nightmare because you got the Sinja parts, you got all of the accessories, you got the mod, you got the
Yeah.
echoes that he drops. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
And then you got the weapon essences now. You know,
Yeah, yeah.
trying
Yeah.
to get the one that you want is
What
literally
no,
a
I
pull
agree.
out
Upgrade.
of hat.
I
Mhm.
think that that's going to be something that's going to be alleviated partially with the Mythics introduction because from what I was seeing, the Mythics are going to be guaranteeing like an essence or a
Oh, okay,
uh
cool.
something like that. So farming the stuff for awakenings will be easier. I feel like
Mhm.
going forward with that because you're probably going to get an essence, like a weapon
But then what
essence
will be the next
and
step
a
in progression
vestige.
then? Because obviously if you're making, like, these things easier, like making Awakening easier, then, like, what's the next goal in mind? Or otherwise, like, there's not gonna be any more end game content, right?
Well, that's where the raids come in, honestly.
Mm,
And then
'Cause
okay,
the
we
so
don't
by the
extra
time
world and all the mysteries and stuff, the quests and stuff. I'm hoping all that will
oh,
fill in the
I
gap.
mean, like, look, I mean, that's gonna be, like, a week or 2 at most, right? Like, the new world, like, it's, like, gonna be, like, a bigger Highlands, yes, I get it, but, like, exploring the new world and all that will be 2 weeks worth of content tops, and then it's just gonna be another Highlands, right? Or
It depends on how big it
Mm,
is and how many mysteries they slam pack into it and how
yeah.
interest how like
yeah, that's true.
and then the echoes you get from it. Like the big thing about Highlands is the echoes you get from it, and everything you get from it is pretty much useless. You know, but
Yeah.
if they changed that with this one, like you could farm.
Mm,
Like there's a boss walking around there that has an echo that you're gonna want to farm, like the big worm echo in Highlands right now. Everyone is farming that for the echo and the essences, right? Imagine if we
mm,
get at least 3 or 4 of those in this next one. Now you
Well,
have a
we
reason to
also
yeah,
go
supposed
in
to
okay.
get
there.
we
You
also
know.
gonna
Yeah.
get at least 4 or 5, I think.
Yeah, and
Mm,
then and imagine if the echoes from the regular enemies actually scale up. You know, they don't just
yeah.
drop at like a low
But what
capacity.
about the different type of gloom events that could happen in a larger area?
That too,
That's cool.
that would
That
be a
actually would be
real big
nice.
influx.
I think, like, if, like, they can hold off on, like, giving us, like, a new Gloom event and, like, making use of those, like, making more new dungeons and stuff and making them more, like, relevant, like Gloom tiers and
Mhm.
Gloom dungeons, that would be really, really nice. Like,
Yeah,
I mean, I
and
think
they
it's a
could
missed
put
opportunity because, like,
yeah,
they
because they could
marketed
put
that
resources
heavily.
in there.
Yeah, exactly. Like, Gloom tiers and Gloom dungeons were, like, meant to be, like, a big thing, like, when they announced, like, the game and all that, and I think
Oh,
it's just very underused at the moment, which I think is a shame, but
I
they can
think
put
that we're gonna see a lot of changes too
Mm,
with adding in more of the triple, um, imbuements.
mm,
Because I know we're gonna be getting more than just triple shadow at some point,
Oh
and
yeah.
I think that we might see one of those actually coming in the newer content coming out, in the next couple months here, and I think
Okay.
that's
hopefully
gonna add
accessories tied to them.
yeah, with most likely more accessories tied to them and stuff like that as well,
Mm,
and I think that
okay.
that's gonna give us more stuff to look forward to and more stuff to farm. I think the idea that they're going with right now is to make awakenings more accessible because of the amount of time you have to invest currently
Yeah.
to awaken for just the 3 awakenings we have now. Then you've got to think the archetype system is going to be
Mhm.
another whole can of worms to unravel.
Oh my gosh, yeah, that's true actually, and the talent tree, and then yeah, no, you're right. I think I was short-sighted. I
And,
completely forgot about all this. Yeah.
and then the
Yeah.
armory system, which
Yep.
I mean, that's not
That's
a
gonna change a
memory
lot.
fragment problem, but
Mm,
that is an essence problem. Like the amount of essences you need to burn through and the amount of gold you have to burn through once the armory
oh,
system comes out. Like
yeah,
there's a
yeah.
lot of stuff that is people are talking about content and the lack of content if drops are made more prevalent.
Mm,
And I'm looking at the all the other systems that we have to manage and
manage.
micromanage
Yep.
as you unlock more characters and more weapons and more
Yeah.
stuff. So I don't think that increasing the drop rate for mythics, which are going to be kind of gatekeeped anyways, because
Mhm,
you're not going to be wanting to go into those right at fresh level 30. Those are going to
mhm.
be stuff you want to go into after you've got one or two awakenings under your belt, a
With an
maxed
accessory
or
set. Yep.
yeah, an
Mhm.
accessory set and stuff like that. That's
Mhm,
going to be where a lot of the in-game players are going to be farming most of
mm,
their essence and
mm.
weapon essences and their cannot think of the word vestiges
Oh, yep, yep.
for their characters, but you're still going to be going to the dungeons to get the spectra and get all the other stuff. So, I
Mm,
mean, it's not going to take the in-game players out of the community, but
mhm.
it is going to give them a place to speed up the more annoying things that we need to farm for those awakenings.
Yep. No, very well put. I think it was a bit of an oversight, and a bit of a worry when people like me who's just said like I might be worried about end game content, but yeah, I completely forget how many things they're also adding as well, and making life easier is also a good thing too. You know.
More ways to farm is what I'm asking for. Just
Yeah,
yeah,
hundred
I think
the
percent.
that's what we're
same
getting.
mats. Just
Yeah.
another way to do it would be just an icing on the cake. Will be
Hmm.
at least another 100 hours alone. Like arena is what I'm asking for. Arena system. Imagine all these bosses and they just drop them in at the same time on
Oh, that would
repeat,
be cool.
and you can
Yeah.
farm an increasing amount of resources, like anything.
Mm,
Yeah. Yeah, see, that's why I
You-
suggested like a horde mode. They can make it where you
mm,
can have one where you could go to regularly and then have one that's weekly that like attacks the city where like the barrier weakens and the gloom tries to overtake. And if you don't beat this boss, then it progresses to this boss. And if you don't beat the second one, it progresses to the third one. If it progresses to the third one, then he prevails and some damage is done to the city and some stuff is taken offline for a week until the next
mhm.
fight, that kind of thing.
No, no, that'd be pretty cool.
So
Really good
here's
place to
a
test your build.
fun can of worms for you guys. Mythic
Yeah.
mode is supposed to be different than Sphere 4.
Yeah.
Do we have sphere levels for the mythic mode?
Ooh.
I'm hoping so.
When you say
Oh,
different,
that'd
what do
be
you mean
nice.
different? That's what I'm wondering. Because they said no new mechanics. So how different is it going to be
It's
besides
just
more damage?
it's a harder tier, but what I've been thinking about lately is it's basically Sphere 4 is or Sphere 5 is how we kind of thought about it initially, but
Mm.
what if it is a completely different queue with a completely different sphere level system? So you could be doing Beastmaster Sphere 4 or you could be doing Beastmaster Mythic Sphere 1
Oh,
Mm.
so you mean the spear count start over?
for the Mythics, yeah. So you've got a whole new scale of Mythic difficulties.
But what would
Oh,
that be different, like besides more health and
yeah.
more damage?
Just more health and more
Maybe
damage.
or maybe it could
I,
be tighter mechanics. Like maybe you have, like, say for the Mythic Reaver King, you get like maybe 3 seconds before the one revives the other. Maybe now you only get 1 second, so you really have to kill them at the same time versus killing one
mm,
and then hurry up and
I would
killing the
like
other.
that. They
I
said
mean,
no
I like
change in
this.
mechanics, but I would like that.
But that's not a
Yeah.
change. It's just a shortening the time window.
You're right. Yeah, yeah, you're right.
Uh, I mean, like, I
The
just think
pull
it's
that
just a lot to implement. So I don't know if they have the resources to do like the different stages of a mythic's difficulty.
Yeah,
Are they?
it'd be interesting to see because it's
Mhm.
just there's not a lot of information right now on the mythics other
Mm,
than the fact we know mechanics aren't changing.
Exactly,
and
yeah.
they're going to be damage sponges.
Mm.
Mhm.
Mhm. No. And, like, that's what kinda scares me because, like, normally, these guys are, like, very open about, explaining their vision and their roadmap to, like, a new feature or something, but with Mythics, it's just, like, a little bit hidden, it's kinda all we know is it's just kinda coming
Mm.
out, and, just I'm a bit on edge being like, "Okay, how's it gonna look? Is it just gonna be another, hype like, you get really hyped up about it, and then it's a bit of a letdown, or, is it actually gonna deliver?"
So here's something that I've had to talk about multiple times since I started
Mm.
streaming on TikTok because people keep asking me all kinds of questions, and the whole heroic
Yep.
Kairos thing keeps coming up time and time and time again.
Mhm.
As a community, would we be okay with heroic Kairos just being a bloody skin at this point?
Ooh.
No,
I
No.
would
no,
limit
no. The
I pay
answer is
too much
no.
money for it. No.
I mean,
No.
personally, I wouldn't care. I wouldn't care if he basically became a cosmetic because honestly,
Mm,
once you get far enough it through awakening, that's all he really is a cosmetic. A
100%.
different
I agree. Like, on paper, you make completely sense, but I think the illogical side of me it's like I just can't accept it, you know?
because right now we don't even know if there's going to be more heroic characters because of the
Mm,
separation with DE.
yep.
That's
That's
all tentative right now. So it's like part of me wants to just make him a skin so we can
yep.
stop having the but he's pay to win question come up all the time because 5%
Well,
is going to
Okay,
yeah.
make
so
or break you.
he's a prime
mm.
frame. That's how I justify it.
Yeah,
He's a prime
yeah,
Yeah,
frame.
yeah.
He's a trophy system.
exactly.
He's something to put
I
on the
see him
wall.
more as
He's
a
shiny.
trophy, yeah, exactly. I feel
And
like once, like, the game progresses down the line a year or 2, I don't think, like, he's even gonna, like, be in the meta at all, but it's something for, like, I think the founders to kinda be happy about, right? Be like, "Oh, like, yeah, I got him when the game first kinda came out, and, it's kinda cool."
And
yeah,
every
see,
other
That's
Kinda
one
thing.
after that is something you earn in game.
Yeah,
So it's
yeah.
literally just a flex that I've been here since the very beginning.
Mm,
yeah, and that's
exactly.
why I was kind of leaning towards just make him a skin. Like it's a skin that you could
I
only
no, no,
get if
I
you were a
I
founder.
kinda agree, but I think, like, a skin is just too underwhelming. Like, I'm happy
Yeah,
for him to be a
see,
skin, but give me something more, you know?
yeah.
I have
Like
a
Make him
I
a
have a
person.
different I have a different take on it. Instead of just making him a skin, I say just give him a full rework, and instead of calling him calling him heroic, call him an alternate. Because the gloom
Mm,
bends time and space, right? So it's
yeah,
different realities that got melded. So maybe he's
yeah,
Kairos from another reality, not heroic, just an alternate, and change his kit up. Maybe instead of rakes, he does something
yeah.
else, and instead of the nuke, he has a different alt.
Or,
You know
like,
what
you
I'm
can do the
saying?
same
I
thing, but just different colors. Like, a purple rake can be turned into, like, a green or a red rake or something like that.
Yeah,
Like,
and
that's good
something
enough for
flashy
me.
like
No,
that.
I
I would
rather
take that. I'll
I
take
rather
that.
it
Yeah.
change, so it'd be like alternate, because then you can have like
Mm.
a core punk version of Nis or Venomous, and you can
Yeah.
have maybe a high tech version of Sinja. You
Yep.
know, it could be.
see,
But what happens is that version turns out to be better than the original version. Then he is pay to win.
yeah, that's
No.
kind of the
Well,
problem
make
with
it farmable.
messing with
Make it
his
Yeah.
kit.
farmable. Make it farmable.
Mm.
Well,
Well, why can't
he
you just
can't
have
be farmable. The
no,
rest will
I
be
think
farmable.
no, I think the
Hmm.
more I think about it, I
If
like Caleb's idea, like,
if
you just make him a cosmetic item. So you make him a regular Kairos with Drama's idea about him coming from a different universe, but then, like, the cosmetics come into
Universe.
his, like, abilities. So, like, instead of, like, a purple, like, rake, as I was kinda saying, like, it'll be a different color. So I think that'll still be okay. Like, I'll still be okay having, like, a different Kairos, but, like,
like
flexing that it's all different.
if you made him into a persona, and
Mm,
I think the persona system is something that needs to be addressed um
yeah.
desperately. The
Mm,
idea of the persona system is great, but
mm,
the persona system itself is relatively limited in its current state. Like
mhm,
Venom Heart, venomous persona, right? The
mhm.
idea is that that is a venomous from a different dimension. That's the whole idea
Mm,
behind the personas.
mm,
So the persona should not just affect the appearance of the character, but it should affect the appearance of the abilities and stuff. And I think that
yeah.
if you moved Heroic Kairos into a persona fit with a more expanded persona system, where instead of being Kairos, now you're, this heroic Kairos or whatever, persona that maybe change the color of the abilities, the animation of the abilities, just something a little different. And let us use freaking cosmetics on the personas.
Yeah.
Like,
No, that's
Lord.
Please, we've said this many times on this pod. Caleb echoed it perfectly. Let us please change. Yep, personas, please. I just can't stress it enough.
Like instead of the persona being this locked cosmetic, make the persona just affect the base skin of the character. Like
Exactly.
Venom Heart, for example, have it affect the character model, and then let us put the cosmetics over it, and maybe have it affect the visuals of the skills. Like the persona system is cool. I like the idea of, hey, my character is now this multi-dimensional version of this character. Cool.
Exactly.
But let me customize it now.
Exactly. It's just like it gives you more money because I'm willing to pay more like skins and like buy more stuff from the shop to customize this character. It's like a win-win, right? I don't know. Like
Yeah.
it just makes
It's
no sense why you want to limit the customization of personas. Like I might not like, a color of like the legs or something. I want to change it to something else. It's just like, I don't know. It just makes no sense to me why you would not want to do that. Sorry, Sin, you're
Think it's
saying
a
something?
lack of foresight.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, hold on.
They just didn't have time to implement it yet.
Maybe. Yeah. But I guess like moving on, they've actually coming from last week, they've the Wayfinder, the main Discord has announced an official fashion contest. I mean, I don't know if we had anything to do with that, but
They were
last week,
listening.
well, I swear, right? Like,
They was
the
ear
timing is
hustling.
too uncanny. Like, oh my
They were
god,
probably better organized anyway, but still, I'm
100%.
excited. I'm jumping
No, I'm
in.
excited
I'm
for it.
signing up.
Yeah. I'm very keen to see your entries. I don't know if you've heard about this, Caleb, or
I haven't. I've been out of the loop lately because I've been. We
Mhm.
had a blizzard, and
Oh, wow.
70-hour work weeks are a thing.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
fair enough. No, I mean, like, I just wanted to highlight this because was it last week, Drama? It
Yeah.
was last week, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
last week.
We were just like talking about like stuff to like us content creators can do just because like we're kind of like there's a bit of a content drought, and like one of the things Drama and I were thinking about was like doing like an official Wayfinder like fashion contest, like so maybe like talk to Snarf and them to like kind of make a like a new channel in their Discord to like post like your new Wayfinders, like how like customize them and then see how they look and all that, and then like top 5 or like 6 people can like get prizes or whatnot. And then funny you say that, like I assume like the day after our episode dropped, Airship comes out with hey, there's a new fashion contest happening, and I think what was the prizes for it? Do you guys remember?
No idea. I haven't even
Yeah,
heard about it.
it's not that, but I mean, like you get to like go up on their website, like it's all official. So please do check it out. Like I think that's pretty cool. Like I don't know if he had anything to do with it or not, but I think just having that event
They were
happening is
listening.
really cool. Yeah, I mean,
They were listening. That's where
they
I'm
have
going with
to
it.
be 100%.
Like
They are. I know they are. They everywhere, man. Snarf is literally lurking in everybody's channel. I believe that.
I
No.
really think that the community events, like the stuff that me and Frosty did, I think those are really good things for the game.
Yeah.
Stuff like the fashion contest, just getting more community involvement, I think is really good for the direction of the game. And I definitely want to see more stuff like that. That's why I really wanted to see more stuff to make the facilitization of stuff like that
Yep.
become features in the game.
No, 100%. And we did talk about like some competitive stuff as well last week. Glad we have you on because I know Rhett is organizing the next competitive tournament and we're working out the finer details, but I don't know if you would want to, I mean, I guess like I think it's a yes, right? Like you'd want to participate in all the community organized events and all that?
I would be interested in participating in some level. I don't know what level I'd want to participate in, like as far as like competing and whatnot, because
Yeah.
it's just the way my scheduling is. I really have 2 days a week in
Yeah.
limited time frames.
Yeah. Well, because it's going to be like basically what you guys have done, like with Frosty and like as like a few content creators like commentating, and then obviously like community like teams and stuff. Like as a right now we're kind of thinking about 6 teams or so, and then like it'll be all randomized, and then it'll be a 3v3 competition. But then the way we're kind of thinking about is you'll have a 1v1 fight, and that'll give you a certain advantage, and then you'll finish it off with like a 2v2 for more points, and obviously have like a points scoreboard and all that. Something like that is kind of what we're thinking about, but we're working out the details. But like hopefully before Mythics come out or raids come out, we'll do something like that.
Yeah, I think that you guys are going to have to hurry because I think Mythics are coming out way faster than we think.
Yeah. Well,
No,
that's the biggest reason why we're debating on like when we should do it as well, like the timing of it, because it's like a lot of like competitive people are like, or like casual players even have kind of reached the end stage, and they're like, hey, like like we should do something, but then it's also like balancing out all the updates that are coming out as well, right?
Yeah, and it's like that's one of the things I was really excited finding out that the Triple Shadow was going to be in the game before my event rolled out, but at the same time it was like kind of buggy.
Yeah. Yep.
And
Which
then my biggest problem with my event was because of the like they fixed part of the Triple Shadow thing specifically so quickly because I wanted to use Triple Shadow for my event, but that also cost me 2 teams because of the PlayStation thing.
Oh, right.
So it was like, can you fix this? And then bye 2 teams. It's like, oh, that was such. It was a fun event, and I'm glad I put it on, but it was so stressful because that was like the worst possible time to do the event.
Yeah. No, honestly, like we are struggling with the timing of it as well, because every time like we check the Discord and all that, like to see like and when an update could possibly come, it just sounds like it's coming sooner than later. And then it's just so hard to like organize all these things, right? With the drops that are coming out. But well, I mean, yeah, we can we're still deciding, so we'll just see how we go with it and stuff. But yeah.
Yeah,
Is there
I'll be down to do that event whenever y'all do that, but hopefully I would rather y'all wait for the Mythics just because it's going to be different, just because the added difficulty.
I think that
be hyped for
is
it.
definitely the way to do it.
Yeah, no, 100%.
Because it should be coming soon. Hopefully, like next 2
is that
3
like
weeks.
Feb or like March? Oh, okay, it is like in Feb. Is expected dates right for it?
Yeah, I think they're shooting for February for that one because the raids are. It's all supposed to be Q1, so it's January, February, March is the time frame for the Mythics.
They're running out of time in Q1, so it should be coming soon.
Yeah. Like if it's in Feb, it obviously makes sense to wait. But if you're looking at March, then maybe you can just have like a little small fun thing. Like maybe not like to the extent of like Frosty's or yours, but like just like in guild or like who's around kind of thing, just to keep the morale up a little bit, if Mythics is delayed, might be the way.
I hope Mythics are not delayed.
But I know, me too. I would much rather do an event with the Mythics than like organizing all this. This is so much work, man.
Farm again.
Yeah.
The chase is nothing. So far, I've been playing a lot of games, and I just really do miss that chase from Wayfinder.
I do.
Like,
The
really
initial rush you get.
Yes.
100%. But a lot of
they're
good
gonna
things
change
to look
bunny
forward.
hives. They're gonna change a lot of things, adding mounts, all that stuff. So like,
oh my god, that would be beautiful. But yeah, no, I think no, we've done well. I think that's everything we have to mention. So once again, thank you guys so much for coming on, like and just hanging out, chatting about Wayfinder and all that. Hope you guys had fun. I had a lot of fun.
yeah, which
Yeah,
definitely did.
bringing this.
Learn some new things today. Apparently, like Wayfinder is going to be furries only, so that's something to look forward to.
Yep, Furry Finder.
Furry Finder, yeah.
2024.
Love it. No, it sounds good. And with that, Sin, do you want to do the closings?
All right, I want to thank everybody for coming out. We had a great conversation. Love, peace, and memory fragments.
Buff memory fragments.
Buff memory fragments.
Make memory fragments good again.
Great again. Great
again.
Great again.
No, thank you, and we'll see you guys next week. Peace, y'all.
All right.
Stop.